Hi there, I'm Sandra Parker. In this video, I want to talk about whether you ever had a choice in terms of alcohol. So, when I think about my relationship with alcohol, I remember thinking, when I was younger, it was really cool to drink. When I was working, I used to avoid people that didn't drink. I thought they were boring. And I used to love it when it was Christmas and my Secret Santa present was always a bottle of Prosecco. When I had a birthday and I had pictures of alcohol on the cards, I remember I had a t-shirt that I used to wear on holiday and it said rosé all day. I had a pair of running socks that said no pain, no champagne, right? And the list goes on. And since I've done this work, I've been alcohol free now for 7 years. And what I've realised is I didn't have much of a say in how alcohol was conditioned for me and for other people around me. So I want to ask you a question, right? If you were to spend just one day, notice how many references there are to alcohol, right? Maybe you're going into a card shop to buy a friend a card, a birthday card. Is it possible to buy a female birthday card that's not got a picture of something alcoholic? So if it's a woman, it's going to be a cocktail or a bottle of champagne or a bottle of gin. If it's a man, it's most likely going to be beer or maybe whiskey, right? If you watch a TV show, the chances are everybody's drinking. Every single movie, everybody's drinking. If the TV show is a cooking program, they'll talk about what alcohol goes with it. If it's a chat show, they'll probably be sitting having a drink. And if it's some kind of drama, the chances are they'll be either going into a bar or a restaurant or having a drink at home, right? So if you think about the amount of times during the day where people recommend you have a drink, I can remember going to my dentist. I'm particularly scared of dentists, and I had this fairly gruesome root canal treatment. And when I came out of it, the dentist said, you deserve a glass of wine after that. I can remember one of my clients telling me that her son was in hospital and he was quite ill, and there was a special visitors area for the parents of the children that were ill, and she said it was always stocked with at least a bottle of wine. If you've ever had a difficult day at work, I'm guessing somebody said to you at some point, oh, you'll need a drink after that. And so it's not just at celebrations, right? It's also when things go wrong. But any kind of celebration is, like you only have to post something, and the name that comes back is usually a bottle of champagne or a glass of champagne. Whenever we say that we're celebrating, the immediate thing that comes up in people's mind is we should have a drink, right? We should have a toast. So I think it's helpful to understand that this has been massive conditioning. And why do we have this conditioning? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, because alcohol companies spend a fortune on marketing. And two, because there's so much collective denial. Because most people are drinking more than they want, right? And that's the kind of hidden secret that we don't talk about. We might go into work after Christmas and New Year and say that we want to lose weight, or we might boast to people that we've given up cigarettes. But nobody goes into a professional job and says, you know what, I've been drinking a bottle of wine a night and I want to cut down. Like, for a lot of people, that would be seen as career suicide. So there's a lot of shame around alcohol. And because of its highly addictive nature, a lot of people drink more than they want to. So because they drink more than they want to, we have this thing called collective denial. And that's where we try to avoid admitting it's a problem. So I used to like to surround myself with other people that drank. And I also remember that I felt uneasy if one of my friends said that they didn't want to drink. Now, the reason why I felt uneasy was because that made me question my drinking. So we have huge marketing and we have collective denial. And both of those things together mean that if ever there's any news about alcohol being bad for us, it gets absolutely buried, right? A bit like smoking used to be a few generations ago, where doctors used to recommend certain brands of cigarettes and they used to say which ones were even good for asthma, which seems absolutely ridiculous now, but I've seen the adverts and I know that they were out there. And so right now, if ever there's any information saying alcohol's bad for us, it's hard to find it, right? But if you find anything that says that alcohol could be good for us, then that will get posted and reposted and reposted. So all those stories about, the people that live to be 100 and apparently they drink red wine, people will share that over and over again because it makes them feel better, because we want to believe that alcohol's not bad for us. That's why we ignore the health guidelines. That's why we like to surround ourselves with other people drinking. That's why we don't talk about it. And I just want to share this because if you're starting to realise that you're drinking more than you want to, that's a great first step, right? The first step is awareness. Once you know that you're drinking more than you want to, there's lots of things that you can do to take action. But for now, if you're not sure, just do what I suggested. Spend a day and look at how many references there are to alcohol. Maybe if it's your birthday this week, look at how many birthday cards you get with alcohol on them. Or just go about your day, count up the references to alcohol, and then ask yourself, are you choosing to drink or are you drinking because you've been conditioned? I'd love to hear what your answer is. Thanks.